Hi, I'm Bella. This is my first knitting YouTube video. I have been wanting to make one for a while. I am a master's student finishing up my degree in hydrology. I present my thesis next month, so this is a perfect time to procrastinate and do this instead. I've been knitting for about a year and a half, so I'll present some of my recent projects to you today. And I will also talk about my ideas and what I have on the needles. I'm going to tell you about some of my current projects and some projects that I've recently finished, some projects I'm excited about, get your opinion on some projects. My cat is in the back. That's Maury. And yeah, grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, grab your knitting project, whatever, and let's get right into it. First of all, I will show you one of my proudest projects. These are my Vikvarvet mittens by Skeindeer Knits. Gorgeous, I know, stunning. I actually even like them more than the version Skeindeer Knits has for like the picture of, you know, the picture of how it should look at the end. My cats are gonna fight. Just kidding, they just play. So I used really beautiful yarn. I'm gonna have all of the yarn descriptions and like what needles I use, what size, if applicable, down below because I don't remember it. I don't really want to be reading off that stuff. I feel like it's kind of boring. So if you do want to look into what, but I'm not going to give you like the name of the colors and the name, like what needles I'm using, because I think that's boring and I think it's better if you just read that down below if you're interested, but it's not, I'm just here to like chat with you while you knit. Okay, is this distracting to like be like, I like to watch these types of videos when I'm knitting and to feel like I'm like hanging out with someone, knitting with them. Yeah, I'll also probably explain a lot of the concepts that I'm talking about because when I was a beginner knitter, I like was pretty confused by knitting vlogs and knitting podcasts because I didn't know everything that they were discussing, like what they were talking about. So yeah, whatever. These were like my fourth project that I ever casted on knitting, which is kind of crazy because they're so detailed. But guys, don't be afraid of color work. It's not that hard. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I restarted these like 4 times, but it was so much more fun than like doing a scarf. Like knitting a scarf is boring. I do not recommend knitting a scarf for one of your first projects. I think that's something you should have on your needles later, or you could use a chunky yarn. Or if you do like a striped scarf or something like that, or it's just something you're really excited about. But for your first couple projects, I think you should do something that excites you. And if that's color work, I'm all for someone doing 2-stranded color work. I don't know. I've never done 3-stranded color work which is where you also, color work is just when you're using multiple colors in a knit garment. So like I had 1 strand of white and 1 strand of blue, and I was just like taking turns knitting with each of the colors. To knit something like this, you just follow a pattern. You're not inventing this while you're knitting. Like it's not that big of a deal. All you have to be able to do is to like mark off which grid pattern you've done. So like for this, it'll be like, oh, make it blue. The first stitch should be blue, and then it should be 5 whites, and then, you know, 2 blues, and then another white, and then you mark off the whole row, and then you go to the next row. And it's like, not that hard. For me, I use my right hand to hold my main color, and then my left hand to hold like the alternate color. For this one, it's blue. And then knit English style with your right hand, which is like knitting English is like when you're using your right hand to put the string over the needle. And then knitting continental is when you're using your left hand to put the string, to hold the string and put it over your needle. So the fastest way to do color work is to have 1 string in your right hand and 1 in your left. and then to switch between the styles depending on which color you're knitting with. You can also just do English color knitting, color work. So like you can just use your right hand. Anyways, I think it's not that hard. One of them is like a little bit bigger than the other one, but it was super fun. I love them. I love that they're variegated. I used these beautiful KPM wool. Let me go grab. Okay, I'm back. So I know I said I wasn't going to talk about yarn, but I think these two I'll talk about just because look how beautiful they are. This is Koigu. One of them is like, the white is like actually kind of has a greenish hue. And they're both variegated. So they create this really like subtle look to them, like blue and white sometimes fade into each other. And it kind of reminds me of like porcelain or something. Just looks more delicate than like if it were solid colored yarn rather than variegated. And by variegated, I just mean the color like goes in and out. I think the first one only took me like a month and a half. And then the second one took me a couple months because I cast it on in like January. I wasn't going to have them done in time to wear them. So it kind of took me a while to get the second one done there. Another project that I knit that I really like are these hand warmers. I'm actually working on the second one still. The first one only took me a couple of days. And the second one, I just haven't been working on lately, but they're really beautiful. They are cable knit, which is where the knits like, so these are pearls in here and then these are knit stitches, and you just like has 4 stitches in it. And so you just like take 2 of them off the needles and then cross them over the other one. So you're literally crossing the stitches over each other. And then to make this like pattern, and then you just knit through them. I didn't follow a pattern for these. I just looked up how to do cable knit, and then I just cast on a certain number of stitches. I don't know. I like to use these like little, like tiny needles. They're like 8-inch circulars. And I think that, I don't know what size needles these are. I'll put it down below. But yeah, I think they turned out really pretty. They're really stretchy. I did a beautiful scalloped edge which I think is really nice detail. And I added an extra cable down right here when it went into my wrist. They look so cute. I'm so excited to make the second one. This is my first time working with alpaca yarn. And I have quite a bit of alpaca yarn in my stash, but I've never used it before. So I'm excited to see how it wears. It's super fluffy and soft. So I got this yarn at the textile center. It is a place where people donate yarn. It's like a textile reuse center. That's where I get most of my yarn, honestly. I don't buy new yarn super often. I've never had a problem with bugs. I don't do anything to prevent bugs. Like I know some people put yarn in the freezer to like kill off bugs, or wash their yarn before they use it, but I don't do that because I'm lazy. I do put it into bags a lot of the times. Well, usually when I buy it, it'll come in these bags. This yarn was kind of expensive. This was $32 for like five yarn skeins. I don't know, it's only 4 skeins. $32. And I kind of regret buying this. I think it was expensive. We're going to talk about that later. Another thing I made, I needed a quick win, so I made this little hat. It's not going to fit over my bun very well. It looks ridiculous. This is not how it usually fits. I just have my hair up. It's really cute. I love these colors. This is also yarn from the textile center. I got really lucky and found a bunch of noro yarn. I found a bunch of balls of noro yarn, and I love noro yarn. So pretty. I have like 8 skeins of this like purple color. I don't like purple really, so I don't know why I did that. it's just hard to pass up noro yarn at like such a cheap price. I should start keeping track of like how much these like balls cost. I don't really know. I'm really type B and I do not keep track of like my stash. I'll just throw away the tags that are on balls of yarn. Like I do know what this is because I have more of this, but also a lot of them come like this. Like this says wool, $2. That's all it says. I don't know anything about this. I don't know what width it is. I don't really care. I love this color. I love this like green chartreuse. I got this the other day and I'm gonna pick up a ball with my foot. I also got this color blue. I think these would look so cute together. I don't know what I'm gonna make with this. This is such a tiny amount of yarn. This one was $4. Why was this $4? I don't know. But let me know what you think I should do with this. Like, can I make something out of this much yarn, like a single thing? Or should I just use it in like a scrappy project? I've never done a scrappy project. I've never done color work with yarn that's not like the same yarn. Like these are both the same brand. So when I did my mittens, it's like, oh, that works. That obviously works. It's the same thickness of yarn. It'll work well together. Also, another thing I'm working on, this beautiful scarf. This is the Colorwork tube scarf by Jamila something. Jamila Modeste made this colorwork scarf. It's the same exact yarn as my mittens. I just wanted something that like works with them, that matches them. Looks really cute together. Looks lovely with this side, I think. It does look nice with this side too, but I just think it looks so good with that side. Because there's this pattern here, and that's similar to this pattern. This is a huge circumference. Like, this is my first scarf I'm ever knitting. This is only like half, maybe not even half done. And it's taking forever, but it is very lovely and it feels really nice. Oops, I was covering up my microphone. It feels very nice. Sorry, I didn't even say what this is. Merino, 100% merino wool. So my cats have the zoomies. Wait, can you see him? Misha! They're being cute. Oh, you can't see them. Okay. Yeah, this is really beautiful. I think I'm on my second ball of white yarn, maybe my third. I don't remember. Oh yeah, also these mittens took less than one ball of yarn of each of the two colors. So like I used less than 2 skeins on both of these. And then that's why I started this. I was like, I should use up that yarn. Oh, let's do a project that's gonna require me to buy more yarn. You know how that is. So this is gonna take a while. It's kind of boring. It's just stockinette stitch in the round. I wanted to do it in the round so that you couldn't see the back of the color work. I wanted it to be hidden. And I didn't want to work like in stockinette straight because I don't love purling. I don't hate purling, but I don't like purling for like entire rows for like such a big project. I'd rather just knit. And I got bored, so I started adding these little like motifs in blue of color work. I don't know what they are. I like followed some patterns I found on Pinterest. I just looked up what did I look up? Like cross stitch patterns. I blocked it. It's the first time I've ever mid-project blocked something. It was blocked, like you can see the difference like right here, or I can see the difference. I blocked all of this because I didn't change my needle size for the color work part, like this section. And apparently I knit a lot tighter with color work, which I think is known, and it even told me in the pattern to switch to larger needles for this section. I said, no, I'm not going to. I don't give a fuck, but I should have done it. because it was like a lot tighter here. I blocked it because I was like, should I just start over because it is so bad? But I think it looks okay. Now that I've blocked it, it's like not as obvious, and I think it's kind of cute that it like cinches in a little bit. I'm like really not a perfectionist. So that's something that also helps me get done with projects and not have it take forever. This is another little thing on my needles. I don't know what I'm doing ever. I just have ideas, so I'm like, okay. I got these little tiny green beads. I got these tiny green beads at the textile center, and I was like, I need to make a tiny scarf. The beads like to use this tiny crochet hook. Like I don't even think you can see the hook part of it. It's so tiny, but I have to use that to like grab onto the thread and put the bead onto the thread. Hard to explain. This was my first time like trying to knit with beads. It's easy. I have a video of me knitting this on my Instagram, here's the name of my Instagram. Follow me there. This is like the tiniest little, it's cotton thread. My mom bought me like 2 giant bags of just these in different colors. She got them at a estate sale, and I actually love them. I also used this material to weave my first thing on a loom. I bought a loom. And this is what I made. It's a little coaster, and it's so cute. It's not very good, but I love it. I think it's so adorable. It is inspired by, where is it? It's modeled after the colors of my Killim pillow, which I got from Turkey. I bought it on Etsy, and it's supposedly from Turkey. But I love my Killim pillows. I have 4, and I have more. I actually have like 6, but I only have 4 out. I want to make more of these. This took me like 6 hours to make, but worth it. I love it. What else? I started making the cutie tee, and this is just the collar of it. This is my first time working with, this is called mohair, where it's fuzzy. I'm afraid this is going to be like really itchy on my neck. I don't think I'm that sensitive to itchy wool. I want to frog this and make it out of like a purpley, make it again, but with colors I like more. I just don't like this, I don't like red and white together. Unless it's like mittens, but I don't like red and white stripes together. I think this would look really pretty together. This is a yarn I got, has no labels on it. Sorry, don't come for me. Thrifted it. And I also got I got a bag of this. I don't know, what is this, roving? Does it say denim? Like maybe that means denim color. This was $4 for this bag. So I don't know how much like yarn I can make out of that. I've never spun before. I did buy a spindle at the reuse center as well recently. And so I do want to try spinning yarn and making yarn out of this. Maybe I'll make a video on like me attempting, but I think these colors would be so pretty together. I think it would look cool if it was like half chunky. What else? Oh yeah. I want to make the barn dance sweater. There is this person, I forgot her name, found her on Instagram. She made a barn dance sweater and used just stunning colors. Like it really changed the look of the sweater. Like I look at the original barn dance sweater. Who's that by? Okay, the barn dance pattern is by Caitlin Hunter. Linsky did a version of it that's so stunning, and I really want to remake it. I am nervous. I've never done a Colorwork sweater. I'm also nervous because it's just so many different beautiful colors. I knit a swatch and I didn't knit like the pattern that's in the barn dance. I just wanted to see how these colors look together. I really like it. I'll put what this is my third time buying the base color for this sweater because the other two were just too creamy and white. This is perfect. It's like kind of grayish oatmeal. I think it's really pretty and it looks lovely with these colors. These are all like, I got some of these yarns, these different colors in New Orleans when I went with my friend. We had like a breakup trip and we went to New Orleans together. And it was so fun. And we went to yarn stores and I found a lot of colors that looked good with, like, compared to Linsky's version of this barn dance pattern. I have all of the yarn I need to make this sweater. I am just afraid. Okay, yes, this is what I need the knitting experts for. I don't really have friends who are like more advanced in knitting than me. How big of an effect will using different weights of yarn have on the overall sweater? Like, will it block out just fine if I use the same size needles for all the yarn? Should I use a bigger size needle for the colorwork section of this sweater? I feel like I should, so that it's not scrunched in like how my scarf was. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. I think I'll do a whole video for this project and like vlog it, but I am afraid because there's just different, I should post on my Instagram like what the different widths are for these colors, but they're not all the same. I'll make a post on my Instagram about it, and if you want to look there and comment and give me advice here or there, please let me know. I'm just nervous about using yarn with different weights for color work. And like, how do you do color work with this many different colors? I think it's like you do one row and like in that row for this sweater, it's like you're using the background color and then you're using the secondary color for the pattern. And then, you know, a couple of rows later, you switch what your secondary color is. So it's not like you're using 3 colors at once, but in some sections, maybe you are. I don't know. This project is very intimidating to me. I've had the colored yarn for like 6 months, but I just got the base yarn. And I was like, okay, that means I have to start actually knitting this. I need to gauge swatch for that project. I am, but I need to be confident. Last thing, the sun is setting, so this really has to be my last thing. I got bags of this Carlton Merino Supreme Superwash Merino from the textile center. And these are the 4 colors I got. There are multiple balls of each of these, except for this one. This one only has, there's only 1 ball of this, but I thought it would look pretty as like a small accent to these. I love these colors together. I've never used Superwash Merino. I don't know what I should use this for. I am between, right now I'm thinking the loopy.studio striped cardi or the innusik.studio unreleased linea cardigan. Linea cardigan, I don't know when that pattern's going to be ready, and I kind of think this is something I could start working on soon, but also I have never used merino. I'm scared about that. I know that means that like the scales are removed from the yarn, so like it won't felt up if you wash it, so you can superwash. So that's good, right? Except I think it has an effect on how the merino drapes, or like how the fabric ends up draping. I know I've heard that it stretches a lot more after you wash it once, but does it stretch? I mean, you can just block your swatch and then you'll know how big it's going to be. So like that doesn't really impact things. But yeah, I don't know. I think this would be cute for the loopy, striped loopy cardigan. What do you think? Also, is using superwash merino a bad idea for that? I have a ton of yarn. I have too much yarn. I should do a yarn stash video, but I'm kind of embarrassed about how much yarn I have compared to how many projects I've created. Maybe it's not so bad because most of my yarn, it's just hard to not purchase yarn that is at a good deal and that is pretty when you're at like a reuse place. Like it's not like you can be like, oh, I'll buy this next time I'm here. No, this might be the only time. This might be your one shot, you know? This might be the only chance you have. So that's why I bought all of these. There were like 6 more colors of this yarn, but I was just, and it was kind of expensive. For like 5 balls, it was like $40. And I think I spent like $80 on these. I bought, how many balls are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 balls. So that's okay. Last thing. I know I said last thing last time, but this one's actually my last thing. This is, I'm using this black and white yarn. I found this black and white yarn. It's like half cotton, half wool, but these are the same brand and type of yarn. So I was like, I do want to do a black and white project, and I don't have any black and white, like stark white yarn. So I bought them. They were like 4 balls each. I'm making a really long skinny scarf with words on it. I just had this idea the other morning at like 7 a.m. It's my idea time. I wake up at like 6 or 7 a.m., have a bunch of ideas, go back to sleep for like an hour. And one of my ideas was to make a scarf that says something on it, something that my little brain created. It's like, I've been wanting to do words on a scarf and on mittens as like an art piece. I had some ideas. I wrote some poetry. I don't really want to say what it's going to say on it. I think will be cool when it's done, but I will talk about it after I complete it. Or when I'm like further in the process. What I want to talk about is like, how the heck do you do intarsia in the round? This is impossible. I'm like, look at my back. It's like so bad. What the heck am I doing? It's because, so when you normally do intarsia, you do it back and forth. Why did I decide to do this in the round? I didn't want to purl. That's what I did. I just didn't want to purl. I don't know. I've been like watching some knitting videos, and I think that maybe the better way would be to carry the black all the way around and maybe write on the back of this too, but then I'd have to write the words. Oh no, I could just write it this way. Yeah. Okay, so I could write on the front and the back, or I could do double knit. Is that what it's called? When you like knit the inside and the outside at the same time, or like the front and the back. I could do that and do that in the round. And so then you can turn it inside out and it's like black on the outside with white lettering. Or I could just do double knit straight scarf. But I kind of like that it's like a skinny round scarf. But look at how much it's like gathering above and below. Oh, it just doesn't look very professional. But obviously that's an A and that's a P. And there's a space. These are like 2 different words. And it's gonna have to be really long to say everything I wanted to say. I wanna make sure that I'm doing like an okay method. Will blocking fix this like mess? or I guess I could just try blocking it. I don't know. This was kind of a test. Like this might not be what I do for the whole project. I might switch my method for creating a lettered long scarf, skinny scarf. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just suck it up and do intarsia the normal way, where you do it back and forth and you have to purl. But I've never done color work with purling, so that's why. But I should listen to myself. Nothing is that hard. If anyone can do something, you can do it. Motivational speaker. The sun is going down, so my lighting is probably really different from when I started this video. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. I'll put my mittens on. God, I love these. I'm so proud of these. I can't believe that I did this. I want to create my own mitten patterns. I love reading. Is it considered reading if they're picture books? I love reading picture books of design patterns. And I just have so many ideas for patterns for color work. I just think color work's so awesome. It's like drawing on your mittens. So dope. So cool. I use dope ironically. Thanks for watching. Bye.